most of us, what was important to me was to earn money, to have the nice things in life, to have an excellent education, status, to be an important man in business, at work, to have a nice house, to have beautiful children, and a nice family. Most of these things were taken away from me 3 years ago. I lost my job. I was made to be a villain. To make matters worse, my son developed a dreadful mental disease called schizophrenia. I couldn't pronounce that word before. Any one of you who's got children will understand that when you lose your son, you lose a lot. My daughter left the house to stay with her boyfriend. To me, or to rather to my wife and I, you leave the house to get married or because you were promoted, and it was a non-event. The relationship between my wife and myself changed dramatically. She was now the earner. I was now the housewife, the house husband. And I didn't do a good job at that either, because I was full of hatred for what life had done to me. What had I done to deserve all this? I was fortunate that my wife never let me down. She kept me, she fed me, and she loved me. And for that I say thank you to her in public. I was also fortunate to be able to go to the Cape Mental Health Association, and they kept me going. But still, that hatred and the post-traumatic stress disorder that I suffered kept me mad. When I say mad, I was sick mentally. And I decided that I wanted to revenge myself. Revenge on those that have hurt me so badly. And that included God. Why did he have to choose my son to become schizophrenic? There's not a single ounce of malice in him. He's got a golden heart, and he's got to suffer that, and he knows it. Most of them don't know it. And I decided that I was going to commit suicide, because the one person that had no reason to hurt me on this earth was the presiding officer in the court, the judge. And the other one, as far as I'm concerned, was God. I was going to give him his life back. And I decided that I didn't want to hurt people that didn't deserve to be hurt. So I wrote letters on the computer, and I prepared. Every single person who could possibly feel hurt or guilty for what I was about to do would receive a letter from me. And a week before I was going to go to the judge's house, where I knew he stayed, and hand him a letter, and then pour petrol over myself and set myself alight in front of everybody in his house, in his street. I went to a shop, and in that shop I bought what I had to, and when I came to pay at the counter, I saw the most loving eyes I've ever come across. The little green booklet that you have in front of you, those eyes looked at me, and I felt a whole hatred that I had built up over 3 years of fighting in the industrial court, like falling away from me. And there was a little notice to say that there was a messenger available to talk, and there would be a meeting. And the little voice talked to me and said, take the notice down and take the booklet. I didn't take the details of the message, of the venue, but I did take the booklet. I paid what I had to, made a joke with the lady, and went home. And when I came home, those eyes kept on looking at me, and I was touched. And I thought, no, I had to do something. So I phoned the shop and I said, listen, there was a notice there. Please tell me what the notice is, what is the telephone number, because I want to contact these people. And the lady said to me, I'm sorry, sir, the manager does not allow any booklets, leaflets, or pamphlets, or whatever on the wall, and certainly not on the counter. So I said, but I asked you for a little booklet, whether I could have one. And you said, yes, help yourself. She said, I didn't, because there never was a booklet in front of me. I said, but there was, I've got it in front of me. She said, sir, I remember exactly what you bought. I can tell you how you paid for it, you know, in monetary values, and what coins and so on you gave me. And I can promise you it wasn't there. Please, she said, do me a favor, look in the back of the booklet and phone the people there. You might find a telephone number there. But leave me in peace, I got work to do. So I found that book. I looked in the back and I got the telephone number and I phoned. And eventually I received a convenient method of meditation, which, as was explained, you just have to be a vegetarian for 10 days. Now, I used to eat a lot of meat. And when I say I used to eat a lot of meat, I mean it. And from the one day to the next, I didn't touch a piece of meat. I haven't eaten an egg since. I don't eat chicken, although I could eat a whole chicken by myself, not a problem. Not that I'm proud of it. But I realized that since I didn't give life to any animal on this earth, who am I to take that right and deprive that animal of its life? Because all animals value their lives. The moment they know that they're going to lose their lives, they defend it. Every one of us, we value our lives. And we value our lives because we realize that we are here on this earth to learn what it is we've forgotten. As far as I'm concerned, what we are here to learn is to learn that, one, we've got to love the person, he or her, whatever you want to call it, the Creator. Call him Allah, call him God, call him Pampoon for all I care. And whilst before I wanted to revenge on him, that is gone. That hatred which I had is completely gone. I have now more compassion towards my fellow human being. I try to be also more understanding, more tolerant towards my daughter, towards my son, towards my fellow human being. You know, we are different people the moment we are behind the wheel. We can have a beautiful girl and we will smile at her, but put her behind the wheel and you go behind the wheel and my boy, you got somebody else there. And when it is particularly to take a parking, and that woman is going to take your parking, you know what you do with her. You jump in front of her. Now, to learn that, to undo 60 years, that's what I will be next month, 60 years of bad habit, takes a lot of working. But I must say that meditation, throughout the day, an awareness also of why we are here, has helped me to become a calmer person, a more satisfied person, a more compassionate person, I believe. I've learned that money is not everything. Status is not everything. In fact, it is there, gone in 1 second. That's what happened to me. Everything that I valued in a split second was gone. And unless we go through life appreciating and being thankful for what we have, we may lose it just like that. And the same with our life. Now, I'm not trying to impress you on the physical side or benefit of the Kuan Yin method of meditation. But 2 years ago, I suffered 4 heart attacks, 2 of which were deadly. The blockage was right on the top, where it starts splitting. I experienced the most extreme pain that you can possibly imagine. The best way for me to describe it to you is to say, imagine you had pins and needles, times 1,000,000 times from top to bottom. And whilst I was experiencing that pain, I felt that there was a woman that was caressing my hand, and I also felt enveloped by love. And I was quite, in spite of that pain, I was actually quite calm and peaceful. 6 months later, I went for a checkup at the hospital. And they put me through the paces. You know this thing that you got to walk? You walk up, they make it tighter and they make it faster. And the specialist kept on looking at me like this, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, what's his problem? And he said to me, are you okay? So I said, no, I'm okay, no problem. He said, you all right? So I said, I'm all right. I did 95% of the test. And when I finished with that, eventually that 95%, at one stage I said to him, you know, I feel a little bit tired here, you know? So he said, stop. So I stopped. He said, my friend, your file tells me that you have had 2 major heart attacks. That had you not changed your way of living, had you not become a vegetarian, if you would have been smoking, if you would have been overweight, if you would have been drinking, if you would have kept a stressful life, you would have been gone a long time ago, and your wife would have been a widow. So he said, you're very fortunate, but I can find very little record on the graph here. You look like a young guy. These are the experiences that I just wanted to give to you for your consideration. Thank you very much for being so patient and having listened to me.
I will forever love you to all the world, to all the lovers, to all the beauties that you saw adore. The beauty I will forever love you. All the mothers, all the lovers, all the
welcome Master Suma Chinghai once again. At this point, we're going to ask Rob Wayne of Karma Kagyu Tibetan Center of Africa, the representative in Africa of the Dharma Arya Apong Rinpoche. In the tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, a white scarf is given as a sign of respect. Thank you.
Hello. Going to open a flower shops here.
Without further ado, I hand you over to Master Suma Ching Hai.
Yes, welcome you. Welcome everyone to Cape Town. The most favorite in Africa, most favorite city. How's everyone? Are you feeling as good as I do? I know you've been working very hard for this evening, and may God bless you for your effort. I know you have been working hard, and God will reward you, or you reward yourself, or best, you don't have any reward. Everyone has been working hard, huh? Except me. I'm just coming here, dress up, sit pretty, and still feel tired and complain. Well, I have to make myself look the best, right? For all the gods and goddesses to hear tonight. I prepared like an hour. Because every time I have an opportunity to see you like this, I feel it's a great, great, great event. Once in a lifetime, or once in many lifetimes. Because not everyone has the honor to be here like myself and meet so many intelligent people in one evening together like this. It is a great privilege, and I would like to tell you how grateful I am. And may God bless you, bless your country, and bless the world. Yes, they have prepared a lot, like 2 weeks for this evening. And I'm very, very grateful for all these generous, enthusiastic, and loving people. They are the ones who deserve the most praise, the most loving comment. Without them, perhaps the world would have been different. Their effort is always appreciated, not only by myself, but I guess by all the people, by you as well. It is a great work. They have worked very hard. Please thank them for me. A lot of people here, there. They are really, really, I don't know, so highly developed people, yes. So for everything in this life, we prepared like that. We must prepare a long time for everything that we want to enjoy or everything we want to experience. We even prepare for the rainy day. We work hard and we spend some and we put some in the bank or some in the saving account for some emergency. and we even saved for retirement, and we prepared for the funeral service. But we forgot to prepare the road. So every one of us know that we do not live here very long. We do not stay here very long. But the worldly demand, the survival, the struggle have always tried to make us forget what we are here for, and have always tried to make us forget that we will not be here very long at all. I was born somehow yesterday, and today I'm 40, don't tell, 40 something, okay? But yesterday the newspaper printed that I'm 51, my God. That's not true, it makes me feel so old. I'm not yet 50, tell everybody, okay? Anyhow, all of us will leave this physical world one day, but not all of us prepared for that final departure. And that's why most of us are feeling uneasy and very fearful of that day, even though some of us are very young still, like me. Already worry about the fearful day of departure. That is because we have not prepared very well for that day. We prepare for insurance, we prepare for sickness, we prepare for the house, mortgage and everything. But we have not prepared for the day that we depart from this world. In the Bible, it is mentioned that forsake the flesh for the spirit, learn to die so that you will begin to live. We read that every day, or more than once a day. But many of us do not know how to die daily so that we can know life as it truly is. Of course, that is all right also. That is all right also. Because we all have eternity to make choice again and again. Excuse me. Some of the smoke in airplane. I love smoke. It makes my throat sore, my lung burning, and my nose running, and make me feel groggy for 3 days after the airplane. I really love this second-hand smoke. It's free of charge, except I have to pay for medicine. Where were we? Did you listen? Well, finally, die every day. Oh, yes, okay. I'm here today not to show you how to live your life. I want to show you how to die. Because only when we learn how to die and face death squarely, then we will not be afraid anymore of the unknown. Because once we die, it's just like we're living now, except much, much better condition. We're more free. We can move anywhere at the speed of faster than light. We can have anything we want in an instant, and we are freer than the bird, and we can have access to God anytime, because we will be one with God. But that is if we're prepared for it. Because our thought is very powerful. In everyday life, whatever we think, whatever we desire the most, these things will come to us. And suppose at the time of departure from this world, if our thoughts were dwelling on something and it has not come true yet, we return again to this physical planet to live out our desire, to fulfill our wishes. So in order for someone who do not like to come back here again, or someone who would like to master the destiny of their future existence after this existence, there is a way to prepare for that. At the time of departure from this world, if our thought is very powerful about something, we will be drawn to that thing or that event or that desire. That when we are alive, we train our thought in a very positive way every day. We train as much as we can until it becomes second nature, until it becomes us. Then at the time of death, we will go where our thought leads us. Because we are the essence of God. We have God power within us, whether we are aware of it or not. So our thought is practically very, very powerful. If during our lifetime we have been brainwashed into believing that we are sinners, that we are a wretch, that we are unredeemable, that we are not worth the love of God, that we will go to hell, and then we have been described how terrible hell is, etc., etc. Then at the time of death, if we believe in that, we will go to the so-called hell, even though hell doesn't exist. We create, or other people create for us. Since the old time, fear has been injected into our gene, into our brain, into our way of life, so that some group of people could have control over us and make us submissive to whatever their purpose, not always very noble. Therefore, in order to free ourselves, we have to be acquainted ourselves again with the true teaching of all the masters since ancient time. That teaching is God or Buddha or Allah is ever merciful. And we are the children of this highest power. And we will be forever loved, forgiven, and helped in any way possible in this life and the life after. I have seen that myself. I have seen God's power at work. I have seen only love and mercy in the realm of invisible as well as the realm of physical. There is no such thing as damnation or hell or revenge from God. Because even if our mortal parents love us and forgive us time again and again, our Godfather or Godmother would be even infinite time more forgiving, more loving. The only problem is we have long been brainwashed into thinking that we may be punished for whatever mistake we may make in this world, which we will do. We do all the time because of our physical brain and the physical body and the physical environment force us into making mistakes. Doesn't matter what mistake we make, God can always repair. so He would never condemn us or punish us in any way that we have been made to believe. That's the way I have discovered. So I would like to share it with you. And I hope that from today you will keep this in your mind, whether you would like to study further with us or not. Just remember, God is merciful, and have no fear whatsoever. Either you're still here or you depart. At the time of departure, there will be beautiful beings of heaven waiting for us immediately as the soul leaves the body. The reason why many people have not been able to see this, including the death, because they have not prepared themselves, or perhaps they have been prepared themselves in the wrong way, such as they think, okay, they have done wrong in their lifetime, they have broken some of the commandments. So my English is getting terrible. I speak 3-4 kinds of language every day, and I'm just all confused. Maybe some of these people have prepared themselves in the wrong way, in a negative way, because they have thought that they've done something wrong in their life. So they expect damnation, they expect punishment, and that's what they will get. Whatever you believe, that shall be materialized, because you are God. You are one with God, always. Even though at the moment, due to the physical hindrance, some of us do not realize this. But we have nothing but God within, without us. We are nothing but God's essence. There's nowhere else we could go but within God's embrace, every time, 24 hours. We are separated from God because of our thinking, because of our deep-rooted belief that we are mere mortal. In order to remember this, that we are God again, we must train ourselves backward again. The way we have trained ourselves to think separate from God, we have to retrain in the opposite direction. And we will do that until finally it becomes automatic. And then because we contact God every day through our diligent and pure intention of practice, we will know for sure that we are one with God. So at the time of departure, there's nothing but God surround us, or heavenly beings that come and greet us to the higher dimension of love. Some of the deaf people do not see this phenomena. Even though Jesus stands by, Buddha is near, they would not see this. Also, they would not realize that they could manifest anything at will, that they have the power of creativity in their hand, especially after leaving this physical body. The whole power will be given, will be returned to us again. Not returned, but then without the hindrance of this physical body, we will be all powerful again. Just like the day we were with God, just like the day we have not descended into this world. But some of us, when we depart from this world, because we did not know this secret, we did not learn this secret, we did not learn to master our thinking while we are in the physical body. So at the time of death, we forget even more. So some of us, or probably you have heard that some people who died came back and complaining that they are in hell and they need help, they need prayer or that, etc., etc. These are true also, but only true to these people, not true as general, not true to you, and not true to me. For those who have learned the secret of the universe, who have learned the power of creativity, who have learned to be one with the universal, mighty power, they know everything. Before they die and after they die, they are the master of their own destiny, anywhere, now and after. But to arrive there, we need some practice. It may take a few days, few weeks, or few months. Not only we practice to remember our own creative power only, but we practice so that we also enjoy heaven while living also. Enjoy contacting with God's intelligence while we are still here on this planet, so that we can make use of this power to enhance our life and the lives of the people that walk on our path. But this takes some discipline, even though it is so easy. We would rather work for money. We would rather work for car, for house, for beauties, than to work to re-earn the kingdom of God again. Why? It's because our habit, whatever we have been trained to do since we were young, we continue doing that. The brain doesn't like change. The brain like everything just settled, simple, fixed. Every day the same routine. Whether bad or good, he likes that. He's very upset when some change takes place. Because the machine is like that. The brain is also only a machine. And even the power behind the brain, which is the mind, is also not very highly qualified for the purpose of attaining heaven. The mind is just like electric power behind the computer. So we have to return to the source of all wisdom and truth. Because if we do not train ourselves now, at the time of death, it will be too late. Our brain, our mind, our thinking has been fixed into some negative order, and we have not enough time to escape from that or to repair from that. We can do so during the time that we sojourn in this planet. This is the easiest way. Because if we have not prepared for that day, we have not learned to know what we're doing and where we are going, then at the time of death we will be overwhelmed by different dimensional karma. Karma is the Sanskrit term for the law of cause and effect. Whatever we did in this lifetime will ingrain impression in our thinking, and when we die, we bring it with us. So if we want to erase that, we must do some deep contemplation, deep purification. We can call that meditation, contemplation, deep prayers. But we must do it correctly. There's very easy way to do it, but must be correct. Just like everything else, there's a way to do it, the correct way. And if we know that, it's very easy. At the time of departure, we all hope to go to heaven. We normally should. Every average citizen of the world will go to heaven. But there are different degree of enjoyment of heaven, just like different housings in Cape Town. Some house cheaper, some house are more expensive, with more equipment, more comfort, swimming pool, etc., everything. Now, to the extent of our developed consciousness, to that extent we will enjoy heaven after we leave this physical world. That is, if we have trained ourselves sufficiently enough to ascend to heaven immediately after death, or else we would be sometimes hovering around for a while until we realize that we're really gone, that we have no longer a physical instrument to work with, that our speech will not be heard by our loved ones, that our wives or husband just bring another one in front of our nose every day to our bed, for example, and nothing we can do about it. Doesn't matter how much we complain, how much tantrum we throw, nobody understands nothing, nobody cares. And at that time, it's a great suffering for us. Also, we will be overwhelmed by the result of our thinking during our lifetime while in the physical body. During the time that we are living, if we keep thinking negatively, then when we die, that's what we get. Yeah? So when we die without preparing, without meditation on positive power, without connection with God's power, the negative thinking that we have during a lifetime will overwhelm us and take us to unpleasant places. And that's why people say there is hell. Yeah? We could also escape from that hell if we are conscious enough at that time to walk out of our own prison. But most of the time, we have not been prepared, so we're weak. We're not strong enough to do that. So we have to stay in that negative atmosphere for a while until it dies down. Now there's another kind of pressure for us even. Not just that, not just our own individual created negativity or pressure or atmosphere or sphere. We have also the collective created, consequence of the people in this planet, as well as our relatives and friends, closer speaking. Because we have not mastered the art of mastering our own destiny, we have not learned to walk the correct way to heaven. We will be stray here and there, we will be pulled apart into different directions, or pushed into unpleasant scenery or planet, illusionary planet, which to us at that moment absolutely real. And that's how people say they enter hell and they suffer. But it must not be like that. It must not be like that. Even though if you don't want to practice vegetarian compassion, even if you don't want to practice meditation with us, you should always tell yourself and remember that God is merciful. That is the only thought you should remember at the time of death. Then you will be clear enough to see that Jesus stands by, that heavens is opening the gate, that angels is greeting you with music of the celestial realm. You must remember something noble like that we are the sons and daughters of God, that we can never be anything lower than that, though nothing at all could harm us. This is the thought should be ingrained in your mind. Like this, you will not fear the angel of death, because he doesn't really exist. It exists because we created him, because we believe in him during our lifetime. So he manifests. Whatever you wish shall be given unto you. Knock and it shall be opened, ask and it shall be given. Because in this planet, sometimes we ask for something, it doesn't come immediately, so we think it doesn't work. It works all the time. Just because we are hindered by this physical body, we cannot see the result immediately. Sometimes the result comes a little bit later, and we think we forget. We forget that we have wanted it. We think that, oh, this is just luck, or this is just bad fortune that these things happen to me. But nothing really happens without us wanting it in the first place. Also, of course, if we're not strong enough in our will, then the karma, the collective consciousness of negativity or positivity also affect us in daily life as well as the time of departure. In our daily life, we are more shielded by this physical ignorance. At least we do not know something bad's coming. But when we live this physical protection, we will see everything. Everything affects us immediately. If we die and the loved ones was crying and lingering and missing us so much, and they cry and they suffer, we will feel it exactly as if we are suffering. That's why during the time of the loved one's departure, maybe the best is that we should just pray for them to go to heaven and enjoy and be liberated, and not praying, crying and lamenting and missing them so much, because that will make them also feel very miserable and delay their departure to the higher dimension. Death should be celebrated, not mourned for, because that is our final liberation. Nothing can touch us anymore. Nothing can harm us. Nothing can cover us anymore. We will know everything. We will be into everything. We'll be anywhere as a fraction of seconds. We have everything that we wish for come true immediately. But in order to prepare for a higher reward than just this, we should learn learn the art of mastery of our own destiny, of our own future, create our own heaven, prepare our own future, and do not let the atmosphere of other people or the karma of other people influence us and drag us here and there like a slave or like a dog. Because we are the master. We are the children of the ocean of love, of God. We have dignity. We should walk like a God. We should act like a God. We should think like a God. It's not easy because we have forgotten how to do that. But it's only a habit. And habit can be trained. It can be broken also with time. During our busy activities, of course, it is difficult for us to control our thought and to train ourselves again into the glory of how we are. That's why we have to choose a little time span during our busy schedule to be quiet, to be quietly alone with ourselves, with God. At that time, we can concentrate our power of thinking, then we can correct the habit of our thought and make it positive. And day by day like this, we will become the son of heaven again, as it really is. That's why we should meditate every day, not just after initiation, because after initiation you're liberated already. You are a free man. You really are a free man. No one can touch you anymore. But in order to have a smoother life here and to enjoy heaven while we are still breathing, in order to remember, retrain ourselves into the presence of heaven, we must remind ourselves every day. It's not even enough because we have been reminded time after time, long time, how bad we are. So now we have to remind us again how good we really are. And that's why it takes time. It takes everyday practice to remember this. You're not going to learn anything. You're just going to remember. Because there's nothing for you to learn. You are the King of Heaven. You're part of heaven, part of the whole universal power. There's nothing you cannot do. Just take time to remember it again. I'm here to help you to remember. And it's not as difficult as you think. It's easier than making a living. It's easier than driving a car. It's easier than sleep. So it would be to our benefit that we should try. What do you think? Yes? Because it's so easy and simple. To some of us who could devote the whole heart and mind into regaining heaven, we can give you the whole instruction. And you meditate like 2-3 hours a day, or as much as you can. Like cut down a little of sleep, talk less on the phone, watch only important news on TV, and don't just sit there and watch whatever, nambok tu qua. So then you will have a lot of time. We will find that we have a lot more time to spare if we cut down many of the unnecessary activities that we used to do just to kill time. Now the time we don't have to kill, we use it to live. We use it to resurrect our soul. Then not only we feel good and bless ourselves, we will bless others as well. Habit is hard to break. We all know that. But it doesn't mean impossible. Before I couldn't drive a car. I just had license recently. When I could drive the car, I feel, my God, I feel like a human being. I feel like everybody else in this planet. I was so proud. I want everybody to see that I'm driving. Yes, because I trained myself. First time I failed. Second time I failed. Third time I succeeded. Even to learn driving, it takes so long. It takes effort, money, and concentration. I still can do it. Yes, still can do it. Many other things like learning English, even learning to walk. We were born crawling, not even crawling, lying, helpless. As a baby, but you know how to try. As a baby, we know how to try. We try to crawl, and then we try to stand up, and then we try to toddling around, then we try to walk, and then we run, and then now we fly even. Everything is a process of learning. To a baby, it must have been impossible to see the adults running or riding bicycles or driving, jumping around, dancing. But to us, it's easy because we have tried, we have trained ourselves. Similarly, to go to heaven, we can train like that. It looks difficult at first, but it isn't. It is more difficult if we try ourselves, but it's not difficult if somebody else already know how and show us on-hand experience, on-hand teaching. It's very simple. That's why since ancient times, God has sent a lot of teachers to show us the way because we have forgotten. To show us the way doesn't mean that person is better than us. We call him or her teacher just because in the beginning he teach you something. So we call them teacher in this planet. If somebody teach you something, we call them teacher of English, professor of mathematics, for example. But in the order of heaven, there is no one lower, no one higher. Just someone who walked the way first and show the one who walks later. And someone who knows the way already show us it's easier, it's less stressful, and more sure and quicker. We could try to walk back to heaven ourselves, but then so many things we do not know on the road because we have forgotten, and sometimes it could be frightening. And that's why many people feel that they are not up to it, they're scared. But when you have somebody walking with you, holding hands and protect you and show you where the way to walk and where to avoid, then the road is more pleasant. You have companion. It's quicker, it's easier. So in short, I'm here in case you feel you want to remember again who you truly are. And there's no cost, no conditions. The so-called 5 precepts is not the 5 precepts. It is a measurement of your readiness. Yeah? For example, if we want to go to college, then a high school diploma is a must. Yeah? And a test before college is a must. To measure your standard of education, so to see for yourself and for the professor that whether you're ready or not for college. Similarly, the 5 precepts or the 10 commandments in the Bible is not a must for everybody. It's not a commandment for you to break or to keep. It is for you to measure your standard of development, spiritually speaking. Suppose you don't want to steal things from people, but you always like to give to the misfortune, the unfortunate. Suppose you don't ever want to tell lie because it's against your conscience, and you always tell the truth. That is not because you keep the precepts, it is because your standard of spiritual development is that high. So if you are required to follow the 5 precepts, like you don't tell lies, you don't kill even animals, and you don't take things from other people, etc., etc., or as you are requested, not requested, recommended to take the vegetarian diet, it is just a remembering, it's just a memoir, it's just a reminding that, are you up to here yet? Are you here yet? You know this? Yeah, yeah. And if you agree to all this, for you it's easy, it's natural. That means you are there. You're ready. You're ready to enter sainthood. You're ready to remember yourself. And that's all about the 5 precepts, or the vegetarian diet, or the 10 commandments. It's not that God is dictative, or it's not that I am sitting here pointing finger and say, thou shalt not kill, thou must do this, do that. It's not that. These things, these rules has been passed down from heaven so that we can measure our standard of quality. I remember when Moses came down from the mountain, he handed these 10 commandments. He said it's from God. It is from God. So that we know where we are, where we stand. So it is not that you must follow me or else. It's not that. You don't even have to follow me. I just teach you once and you can remember all the time. You can do it alone. Unless you want to see me again or you're in doubt, then we will give you an ID card so that when you come, people recognize you and let you in, see me. Or you can write letter. But these are not always necessary for many people. Because every day you can meditate alone. After we give you instruction, then you know what to do. You be your own master every day. The difficulty is not following a master or any master. The difficulty is being your own master. Have a discipline to do what you have chosen to do, what you know is the best for your soul. So if we think that we are up to it, then we are welcome very much. All right, I leave some time for your question. Thank you. During my speech, even if I haven't taught you anything, your soul will receive invisible instruction to yourself. So if you concentrate enough, if you simple inside enough, you see light already, see heavenly light already. Some of you have seen already, yes? You raise your hand? Have you seen it? Oh yeah? Okay, please.
The first question is, God is all merciful and compassionate. How do you explain earthquakes, tidal waves, etc.?
There are many ways of looking at things. If we think this physical body, this physical possession, this physical life is all there is about life and the universe, then of course we will think God is so careless, destroying things, taking lives from people. But if we see things in a spiritual way, if we trust in God's wisdom, then we know everything is all right. Everything is perfect. That is another way to look at it. More practically speaking, we also are responsible for all the disaster in this planet. Not all, but many of them. We cut down trees, so we reduce rain and we encourage more landslide, encourage more drought, which in turn affect the harvest and make a lot of people hungry. And we test atom bombs here and there, everywhere. We interfere with the stability of this globe of the way it vibrates and changes and turn, yes. And we cause many of the unspeakable disaster to ourselves. But then again, okay, we may blame God, it's all right, the guy is there, convenient. But whatever God takes away, He gives another. Because He's a creator, He can create and He can destroy. We never know for what purpose, unless we learn to be one with God, to ascend into a higher dimension where intelligence is boundless, where the vision is limitless. Then we can see the order of work of the universe. Then we understand why some things has happened. We will know that everything is for the best. Then we will not blame God anymore.
Does the process, the meditation process, give you a clear mind? And is this path leading to heaven through Jesus Christ and not changing any of God's principles?
Yes, yes. The meditation help you to see yourself clearer, because when the mind calms down and left behind and the physical body is forgotten, then we reveal ourselves as our true self. And our true self can always see things better, can always see the truth, the complete truth, because we are not the physical body.
Your views on reincarnation, worship of ancestors, its benefits, the law of karma, cause and effect, and what would you say is the common thread that could unite all religions?
I mentioned before already, if the power of your thought have created things which have not arrived during your existence in this planet, and then it will arrive again some other time later, and you have to reborn again in order to enjoy that, bad or good. Yeah? So be careful what you think when you're alive. Then you don't have to enjoy the bad or good consequences. Everything we created. And number two, when our ancestor departed from this world, it's just like I have mentioned already. So all you should do is just pray for them if you don't know where they're gone to. Nothing else. Pray, okay? Worship only God. Be grateful to our ancestors and parents, but pray for them to be liberated. Don't use them because they die already. Let them rest, for God's sake. Don't pray to them for prosperity, for protection, for, whatever material gain that we want to extract from them. They have done their share already during their lifetime. All we do is, if we really love them, pray for them so that God protect them, lift them up to a higher dimension. That's all we should do. No worship, no calling, no nagging, no demanding. The last one, the thread that unites all religion. Okay. That would be good if all the religions united. But actually we have only one religion. According to my study of different religious scriptures, they say the same thing. The essence of the teaching are the same, that we have one, that God, and that we should find Him or her.
How do we rid ourselves of our ego?
Wow, that's a big question. Yes. How, huh? Only when we see God on a daily basis, only when we see the splendor, the greatness of our Almighty Father, then we feel that we are nothing. Not only we feel nothing because we're humble, just we feel that we know that nothing is really important in this world to compete or to snatch or to make trouble to ourselves, because we know heaven is near At that time, our ego has no place to grow. He just died by himself. No food. Yeah? Because we don't care for blame and praise anymore. We don't care much for material gain. We have them, we use them. We don't have them, we satisfy with what we have. At that time, the ego will die.
Is there such a thing as evil spirits?
There are such things as evil spirits. As I have mentioned earlier, those who are not prepared themselves to walk the way of God, they might be confused, they might be very frustrated in the loneliness of the wandering world without guidance, without noble thought to even nourish himself. He will turn into nasty nuisance spirit for a while only, until his anger die down, or until some angel come and get him somewhere else where he belongs. And the devil is not really an entity. It is a collective power of negative thinking. And that can be very big obstruction to us in spiritual practice as well as material survival. This concentrated negative power could be felt sometimes when we try to reach God, when we try to do some really beneficial work for mankind. Because there are some other people who think the opposite of this goodness and noble way. So this power of their thought create this so-called devil. Yeah? Otherwise, there is nothing such as devil exists. It wasn't created in the beginning.
How can I be and lead a spiritual life coming from a very formal religious Islamic background?
There is no need to change your religion or do anything tragic. Just meditate. I show you how to meditate, that's all. Okay? Just keep whatever you believe. Keep your Christianity, keep your Buddhism, keep whatever, the path, the teaching of the Master that is favorite to you. I just show you how to get in touch with the essence of the teaching that you believe. I will just show you how to see the Master whose teaching you're reading. For example, you meditate, you can see Jesus if you're Christian. You can see Buddha and gain some wisdom from him. But sometimes the Buddhists see Jesus and the Christians see Buddha. That also happened in our group. Yeah, it happened all the time. God makes big jokes. But nevertheless, when we ascend into that level of consciousness, we don't care. We know that they are all one. Yes. So we befriend with them all, and they are all very friendly to us too. Yes, sometimes they see both. Jesus and Buddha sit together, drink tea. Yeah, they have fun up there, all the religious leaders and teachers. Only us, the crawling on the planet, fighting with each other, who's the best. Yes, in their names. Thank you.
How do you identify the real God with so many different religions of the world?
Don't get me into trouble. There's only one God. I have mentioned already. Yeah? You see, the Indian, they speak Hindu, okay? They call the enlightened one Buddha. The Hebrew, they speak Hebrew, or the Jews, they speak Hebrew, and they call the enlightened Son of God Christ, yeah? Etc., etc. But if we translate it into English, there's only one, enlightened. And then some people call me Master. The Indian people call me Guru. And you fight with each other. My guru is better than your master. My guru Qinghai. Yes, that's why even within one religion, people fight with each other. That is a very big mistake. We should correct that. Yeah, even if there is many gods, even if, suppose if we have different gods, okay, Muslim God, Christian God, Buddhist God, they all should be merciful. They would never want us to fight with each other, no. So we are doing a very bad job fighting in their names. I hope we will not do that again. Thank you.
What can you tell us about extraterrestrial beings?
Oh, I have some tapes who have mentioned about that already. But we are all extraterrestrial beings. Don't you know that? We came from heaven, all of us, extraterrestrial. Nothing to talk about. And all the leaders of the religions that we worship are extraterrestrial. Jesus, Buddha, they're supposed to came from somewhere else. So actually, you know already from religious teaching that we have extraterrestrial, right? So if you want to see them, I'll show you how, later.
On my return to this earth, what form of life would I take? Who was I? How will I know who I am and what I'm supposed to do?
Oh, you mean the reincarnation?
Yes.
Who is that? Who? Why am I look at you? I can tell you, otherwise I cannot just say like that. I don't know who's who. Who are you? Not who am I, but who are you? Well, if you don't show me, then forget it. You return to be whatever you want to be. That's the only truth. Yes? You create your existence. You are what you are now because you have chosen to be. And you will be what? Because you have chosen now to be different. We can create different life for ourselves all the time.
How would I know what God expects of me so as for me to practice and master those requirements?
You can go and ask Him. I'm here to show you so you can go and ask Him. I cannot answer for Him. Besides, even if I tell you what God wants from you, would you even believe me? See? So, first-hand experience is the best. Go find out. Very easy meditation.
A note of salutation to you, Master. As you walked in, I just felt so beautiful, and it was though I could see my spiritual Master receiving us with his divine love and beautiful energy. I somehow was a bit emotional just absorbing your beauty from within and your intense energy. Thank you for giving us this opportunity of listening to you and your inspiring speech. There is so much I can identify with.
Bless you. And thank you. You must be very pure in the heart to feel that. You must be very devoted to God in order to have sense what you have written. I congratulate you.
It appears to me as though Master Qinghai is a gifted person in more ways than one. Can Master please explain to me who or what is the source of her inspiration?
Oh, gifted, the talent.
Yes.
Oh, that's all came from him. whatever he gives is all his. I have nothing. I was born with nothing. I grown up with nothing. And I have been given all these talents late in life because I practice meditation. I seek God first before everything else. And then He gives me everything else. All the things I never asked.
How do you balance the spiritual world and the physical world?
Well, we have to practice the spiritual life, because right now, most of us are practicing a physical way of life already. So there's another part missing, because we are not only physical, we are also spiritual being. So the reason we suffer because we only practice physical way and forget the other better half as a spiritual way. So to balance it, start practicing now.
If heaven exists, duality exists. Is our goal not to lose duality and to become one with the Supreme Consciousness?
Oh, yes. Heaven is not everything. Yeah? But we go there first. Better than go to hell first. Just one at a time. We go to heaven so that we can have a taste of the celestial life, and we met all the heavenly beings, and learn further, and then we be one with the Most High, of course. Yeah? We pass through heaven. Yeah?
Must one ask for protection when one is busy meditating?
Yes, you should. But in our way of practicing, you are protected already, 24 hours, by the Master Power. The one that who teach you is responsible to protect you until you are able to protect yourselves.
If we know that we have some relative that does bad magic, what should we do to protect ourselves?
That does black magic?
Yes.
Wow, that's bad news. You believe in God. Yeah, pray to God all the time. Black magic is the opposite of love, opposite of light and God. So if you turn to love, you turn to God, then you will be protected. Besides, if you do not do anything wrong in your life, no black magic can ever touch you. It is not allowed. Black magic can only harm immoral people when you are weak with guilt and ridden with bad conscience. So make sure your life is a sample of purity, then nothing can harm you.
Do we have free will, or is everything predestined?
Predestined and free will. Predestined because we have chosen the path that we walk in this life to fulfill our purpose. Free will because we could change it for the future.
When you are doing your meditation, what are you supposed to think? How do you meditate? Because when you close your eyes, the only thing you see is darkness.
See only darkness?
Yes.
You see darkness, not everybody see darkness. I will teach you later, okay? Then you can practice at home. And you will see light, definitely.
You say that hell only exists because we believe in it. But how can you say that it is not the same with heaven and with God?
Heaven and God exist already. After that, we create this world by our thinking, by our wanting to be here, which is not bad. I don't say this physical world is bad. It's also created for the purpose of growing so that we can know God again. Of course, you could say that, okay, we create God too, but why not? We are God, and God created forever, forever, and forever. So you can say you create God, or God has already existed and created us, but we are one with God. Argue back and forth. no use. Come inside and see whether God exists or not, and then you can tell me. All right?
Will Tai Chi help me reach a higher level of consciousness as a moving meditation?
Helps him to...
To reach a higher level of consciousness.
Oh, it does? Good for you. Good for you. Yes. It also needs concentration, and it also helps you to relax and helps you to feel elevated in some degree. Yes. But that's not all. Okay? It's not all. We have to contact the light of God. We have to know God in form of light and other teaching in order to truly understand.
What does the word supreme in the title Supreme Master Ching Hai mean?
It means the Supreme Master Ching Hai. Yeah. It means God. Yeah? God used the human instrument to share His love, teaching with mankind. Yeah? It's not this physical body that teach you. It's an office of God. Ching Hai is a Chinese name for ocean of love. Yes, we have another name now. My God. Ocean of love means God Almighty. It's the same thing. Same thing.
How does spiritual well-being or mental well-being relate or improve people's health who have permanent illnesses, for instance like diabetes?
When we practice spiritual, everything else also improve, including our health, even our financial situation. But we should not seek that as the purpose of meditation. We should seek only to know God. Then He will regulate everything else that happens in our group. But we have to be sincere in looking for God, and then really our sickness also be gone. Many people who has cancer, and they already are scheduled for operation, but because they get initiation and practice meditation until then, the cancer disappear. So they run out of the operation table with the doctor chasing behind with a knife. Some are like that. Some in terminal cancer. Some have a lot of other very serious disease also being cured. Thanks to the Lord. Thanks to your own sincerity.
When we become a part of the great lake of consciousness, do we retain our own individual consciousness?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes. Because we have been already so-called separated from God, so we still have individual so-called consciousness. But when we reach into higher level of realization, then we are everywhere. We are one with God. That's why Jesus reclaimed, I and my Father are one. But there are more levels after that. Yes, so it is infinite. Because at that time you still have I and my Father. You still have two. And we rise higher and higher. There are wonders to be discovered.
Is our intuition and mental pictures fantasy or reality?
It depends on what kind of practice and what kind of mentality you possess right now. If you take drugs or do some magic or something like that, then you enter into hallucination, which look like real, but is very detrimental to our mind as well as our body in the long run. But if we use the self, the true self, the God self, which we'll see the God self, then it is not hallucination, it is true. because it will make us elevated. It makes us feel ecstatic. It makes us wiser, happier, healthier, and fearless.
Can a person see God directly in meditation?
Yes, yes. That's what we meditate for.
I believe I have bad karma. How do I get rid of it?
Come to initiation, I help to get rid of it for you.
As an atheist, what are the benefits of Kuan Yin to me?
Make you become a better atheist. I told you, I promise I don't make you change any religion. Just meditate, then you understand everything. Yeah?
Master, thank you for your prayers for this country and your efforts for peace in our world. I would like to ask, does the study of systems such as Taoism, Kabbalism, and shamanism interfere with Kuan Yin practice?
No. What belongs to Caesars belong to him. Yeah? We do our things, the government do their things. The football, play football. The tennis players, play tennis. Yes, we are up to the business of spiritual practice and elevation of the soul. Whatever ism, no problem. Yes, just outside. Inside, we contact with God.
If one is homosexual, how will one enter into the kingdom of God?
Then you enter the homosexual kingdom. God has no discrimination, okay?
Do you believe in the 7 chakras?
Yes, they exist, they exist. We have to go through in the normal practice, in a normal yoga practice. One has to go through all these 7 chakras in order to reach the third eye and be liberated. But in our method, you start from there. You don't go step, it takes too long. That's why we say immediate enlightenment is quicker, easier. There's a trick.
Please explain twin souls and the male and female aspects of oneself.
There's no such thing as twin souls. We are all separated. Okay? But sometimes we encounter someone which is very compatible to us, and we call that person soulmate. It happens. If we have been working, living, loving with that soul for a long time before in different incarnations, and when we met this so-called soul reincarnate again in a different body, we feel familiarity because we have done things together all the time before, so everything is easy, everything compatible, everything is harmonious. So that is we call soulmate, okay? We do that all the time. We encounter this. And people who encounter this so-called soulmate, they're happily married to each other, or they become very good sisters and brothers together, or good parents, child together. The relationship is very good. So this is soulmate.
Who or what is Kuan Yin?
Oh, forget her. No, actually, when I first started this business, it was in Taiwan, and Kuan Yin means the contemplation of the inner world of God. Yeah, that's it. And there was one saint, lady saint, who also practiced this method of the light and the word of God, the sound, and her name is Kuan Yin. Therefore, the Chinese people praise her as goddess of mercy, because when she was alive, she granted wishes, she helped people, she blessed everyone, just like any living master would. And so they continue worshiping her up till now. as a goddess of mercy. Just like we continue worshiping Buddha, continue worshiping Jesus, etc.
Welcome, Master. Thank you for coming today. I am to be initiated today. My partner is not initiated. Can you please comment on why I cannot share my experiences with her? I enjoy sharing. Please comment.
I'm not sure if your partner is ready to even hear all this. Yeah? Number one. Number two, whatever is given to you from heaven, you should keep quiet about it. Because this world belongs to Caesar. Yeah? And what you get belongs to heaven. Most of people in this world, if they do not practice the same as you do, and they do not enter the same kingdom, all the things you tell them is like Greeks. They will not understand, and they will ridicule you, and they will make trouble for you. And that's why they crucified Jesus, remember? Because he said things about heaven that people don't understand. He spoke the truth, but they label him blasphemy. He talked about heaven, but they give him hell. Just because the people in this planet speak different language, understand different things. So please, be careful about what you talk. You can say general term like, okay, if you meditate, you will see light and you hear the word of God. I also have this kind of experience. That's it. No more detail about which heaven you have been, what kind of melody you heard, what kind of light you've seen, what thing Jesus have told you during your meditation, etc., etc. No detail. Okay? People do not believe you. You will break your relationship if you talk too much about heaven.
Thank you for gracing us with your beautiful presence. We have waited a long time for this. Are you working with the Himalayan masters?
I'm working with all of the masters, not only Himalayans.
Where is your men's clothing line?
Oh, well, everybody asks about that many years. I'm so much bugged. Maybe I do it later, okay? But you have so many famous designs for men already. Why? I just do it as a means to earn my livelihood, you know, and if I earn enough from women, why should I earn from men as well? After all. After all, women are the one who keep the money, honey. Okay, I think about it. Okay, I think about it.
How do drugs affect one's spiritual growth?
Oh, it affects everything. It affects everything, don't you know? It makes your mind blurred, it shrink your brain, it clog your nerves, it makes you feel hallucinated, it makes you go crazy when you don't have it and become addicted to it. It breaks your family love, relationship. It drives your girlfriend, boyfriend away. It makes you become a criminal sometimes. How do you have peace in this chaotic state of mind in order to practice spiritual even? Huh? You have to be first calm and normal. We have enough confusion with work, with war, with disaster, with relationship already. Do not create more confusion for yourselves and damage your only vehicle to reach God. This is the body, the temple. Keep it well in order, healthy, because you must use it, okay? Drug is no, 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 no.
I love you and your voice particularly. Tell me, how many lives do we live, and how do we know which one is which?
Thank you for your compliment. I like that. It's my favorite. I love compliment. How many lives We live here, it depends on us. We could finish it in one lifetime. We could be too attached to all the wonder of this physical creation that we return again for more enjoyment and exploration of the Lord's glory through physical manifestation. So each one is differently, all right?
If I want to follow God, how must I do it, and what must I feel to know I've accepted Him?
At the time of initiation, you see God, or part of the manifestation of God in the form of light, sound, music, or masters of the past. And then from there, you will know, okay? You can only know by your own experience. You cannot know by persuasion or from my experience to you. Each one must face God alone.
How can one help the dying?
Yes, you pray. Yes, you pray in whatever religions. It helps if you're sincere. It helps. It helps that the power of your love, when you gather together, praying for one person unconditionally in any situation, also in dying situation, would help him elevate his own consciousness and speed his way to heaven.
How and when will I be able to attend to any of your lectures again? When are you coming back?
Oh, I should stay here forever, I guess. Whatever important to you, you make time, okay? Nobody can decide for you. Make time. Okay, next.
Yeah, that's the last question, Master.
Last one?
Yes.
That's good. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.